Hello, Oracles. Just wanted to give you guys a little recap of the earnings call that we just heard. So I'm going to do a kind of a quick recap of everything that they had gone over, because there is a lot to unpackage that they went through tonight. And so later on in subsequent videos, I'll break down a little more about each piece as I go back and digest more of it myself. So to start again with the numbers, they came in at $18.7 billion in revenue. They had gross vehicle margins at 32.9%, operating margins at 19.2%. That's absolutely insane. And without credits, they still came in at 30% margins, which is the first time that they have ever done that. Their EPS came in at $3.22, smashing expectations of $2.30. So awesome job to Tesla and the team for smashing all their numbers. So let's go through some of the information that they discussed on the earnings call. So one thing they discussed was vehicle wait times. You know, it's long deliveries, long wait times on these deliveries. And something we had talked about previously is, you know, the vehicles that are getting delivered now were priced, 6 to 8 months ago, because that's how long the lead time is. So, we're looking at lead times that are that long and pricing that is old pricing. So the cars that are sold now, were priced from 6 months ago. So the cars that are going to be sold later in the year are going to be based on today's prices. So this is going to inflect forward, and Elon did state that they really don't anticipate or want to raise prices any more than they are right now. They're anticipating supply chain issues alleviating, which in turn should bring price for the cost of goods down. And they will potentially, by the end of the year, they are looking to lower prices. So when that's going to happen, I don't know, but their intention is to bring the prices back down on the vehicles. They said that the month being down in Shanghai will definitely affect production numbers, obviously. But Elon said that even with that, they should still be able to match Q1 production numbers, maybe fall a little bit short, but if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, they might actually exceed production numbers for Q1. But they should be able to ramp exponentially after that. So Q3 and Q4 will be significantly higher due to the ramp in Shanghai. And they did say because they have learned so much from Shanghai in the production there, they have an experienced team now, so the ramp in Berlin and Austin will be faster than Shanghai. And despite all of the headwinds, they still managed to hit that 19.2% operating margins. So hitting that number there with the headwinds that they had means that going forward, once they get through these ramps of Berlin and Austin, their gross margins, their operating margins should be significantly into the 20% range. Now, they did say that Q2 will most likely be affected the most by the ramps of Berlin and Austin, but they have some things that they have that can offset that in the numbers. So we should still be looking at decent numbers going into Q2, because that's going to offset the costs that they see from the ramps in Berlin and Austin, which is great to hear, because then once they hit Q3, those costs should be less, which means that they can just naturally offset them by producing more vehicles. And then by the time we hit Q4, we should be back to absolutely outstanding numbers and costs that are reduced because of production being so high. And it's going to be an amazing Q4 and end to the year. And Elon did say that they do have a reasonable chance of still achieving 60% year-over-year production growth. And he sees that even despite Shanghai being down for a month, they should still be able to achieve over 1.5 million vehicles delivered this year. And they announced officially that the dedicated Robotaxi will go into volume production in 2024. We are expecting to get an official launch of this in 2023. I have a feeling they're going to wait on it because they want to get through this year when it comes to just the exponential growth that they're looking for when it comes to scaling, really getting the Model Y out there and focus on that. Next year they will work on the Robotaxi, and then getting it to volume production in 2024. Elon said he's not going to get into any more details about that. Question was asked, is it going to be able to be sold to consumers or just commercially? He did not answer. We should get those answers next year when they officially unveil this. And they also did confirm that they will be getting volume production out of the Cybertruck next year, which is huge. I've got mine on order. So you know what? If we get to the end of this year and we get information on the Cybertruck, maybe I'll just forgo my Model Y and go right to the Cybertruck. We'll see when that happens at the end of the year, but very exciting that we will see Cybertruck in volume production next year. And they did reiterate that this is still very early on in their journey. They're only about 5% of the way to their goal that they want to set for 2030. So for those of you who are invested right now thinking, you know, what growth do we have left? A lot, a very lot. And then Elon also went into talking about Optimus and how so many people don't understand that that Optimus is going to become significantly more relevant over the next couple of years, and Optimus is going to be larger than vehicles and FSD. So, you know, just looking at the size of what FSD can bring to us when it comes to robotaxis, think of that scale, think about what ARK had said about robotaxis themselves, and then think about the fact that Optimus is going to be larger than that. Mind-blowing, hard to comprehend right now. Many people don't see this, and some people who do see it want to make sure, is this actually going to happen and come reality? So yeah, still a ways to go, but this is their focus. This is where they are headed, and I know all of you on here with me are on the journey with us, and that's why we are investing like we're investing now, because we see that future. They did discuss a bit about insurance. They said insurance is growing well. We know that they just released it in 3 new states this week, and now they're up to 8 states total, and they're looking to achieve 80% customers having access to Tesla insurance by the end of the year. Now, we've already heard plenty of stories about people who have been saving a lot of money on it, but you know, now that they're the underwriters and everything for the insurance in these new states, they're completely vertically integrated when it comes to insurance, and the feedback loop is very tight. So you get into an accident with your Tesla, Tesla gets the feedback information on that, Tesla solves the problem, Tesla figures out how much it is, and bing bang boom, your vehicle is repaired because they have a repair center themselves. So everything is handled through Tesla, so you don't have to fight with third-party insurance and then another dealership that's going to do the repairs for you, and who can do them and who can't, and who does your insurance work with. You don't have to deal with any of that. I had to go through it myself when I got bullet holes in the back of my car, and it was a month-long process. We don't have to deal with that anymore. When you have Tesla insurance, it's a very quick process. They have all the information, they get it instantly, set and done, and they will have your vehicle repaired quickly. They talked about 4680 batteries a little bit. Elon had said that they should be up to full ramp rate by end of Q3, definitely into Q4, and that is vital for them going into the future as production increases as quickly as it's going to go. So, you know, as long as they can get to that by the end of the year, going into 2023 will be no issues, but they do have a backup with the 2170s as a safety plan, just in case for some reason the 4680s don't ramp as quickly as they need. So it's not like 4680s are a vital piece to get production ramping in Austin. They do have a backup plan with the 2170s just in case. And they did say that the ramp is going to be faster in Berlin and Austin, faster than Shanghai. They're using 30% less robots over there, and they're focusing on just the Model Y, which is also going to speed up the production over there because it's just one thing that they're focusing on. In the future, obviously, they will get to different variations of vehicles, but for right now, to get to scaling as fast as possible, it's one vehicle, 30 less robots, and with every subsequent factory after this, they will get better and they will be able to produce faster out of each factory afterwards. Several times on the call, they did discuss raw materials, and lithium is really the big one right now. The lithium is where they're focusing on, and they're frustrated because costs are so high on lithium, and it's not a supply and demand issue. It's just because people want to have more prices. Now, Elon did say, do you like printing money? Well, why don't you sell some lithium? You know, because it's lithium right now, their margins are like software margins. It's ridiculous as high as they are. So, that's what they're looking at. So it looks like they might actually set up their own lithium mining in the future to just further their vertical integration. And this is something we've talked about before, which is Tesla is in control of their own destiny. And Elon stated it on the call tonight where, if Tesla sees that there is an issue somewhere that they're getting hung up that is causing them to slow down, they will just fix that issue and take care of it themselves. Right now, lithium is that issue. Lithium is going to be a limiting factor for the future, and they're going to fix that by making it their own problem. And so now Tesla will be in control of the lithium that they have, just as they have done with the batteries, just as they have done with many other supplies that they use. So Tesla doing all this in-house is just going to make them even better for the future. They discussed how raw materials and the access to these raw materials could slow down the EV adoption rate because not everybody else will be able to have these. Elon said they would be able to help the industry themselves with all of that. So obviously if Tesla's going to start up their own lithium mining, they can then supply competitors with lithium as well. So just another area of revenue that Tesla can have above its competitors. And looking at the fact that not all of their competitors have supply chains like this already locked up for the future, when we do get to that point where it's a problem for other people, Tesla is all set to go. Tesla has these problems figured out now. They're not going to have to figure them out when everybody else is getting to that point. So just another piece that is keeping Tesla further in the lead. And a question was asked, if the supply chain issues that were going over in Shanghai would affect all of the other factories around the world for Tesla. And Elon said that, it could potentially do that, but based on the speed of ramp that Shanghai is getting back to already, then they have backed up supplies there as it is when it comes to the batteries. So they're not going to have to worry about that supply chain initially, but it seems like it's alleviating enough where the supply chain issue won't be disrupted that horribly by this COVID shutdown in Shanghai. So that bodes well for all of Tesla's other factors around the world not having to slow down. And a question was asked if they are in the talks with Elon and the board to come up with a new compensation package for Elon. He said no. He said they are not currently having any discussions about this. And, just trying to get his tone of voice, it didn't sound like he was, not, just saying that and lying. It didn't sound like, he's even looking for it. I'm really kind of curious. I don't know what that plan is for the CEO package for the future. I don't know if perhaps he's going to step down. So kind of left that one up in the air. So we'll see what happens in the future when it comes to a compensation package for Elon as CEO or what's going to happen. And one other question that was asked was, with all of the cash that they have on hand, what are they going to do with it in the future? And so what was discussed was, currently basically research and development. They are working on spending the money on, the Cybertruck, the Roadster, the dedicated Robotaxi, and Optimus. And then from there, they will have to figure out what they want to do with it. So this tells me that their CapEx plan goes through Optimus. So this tells me that for at least the next 5 to 10 years, they've got plans for most of this cash that is coming in to be able to dedicate to increasing, these pieces of their business. So once we get through Optimus and all of that, let's see what's coming out. This is something where, maybe they'll come out with something new, maybe something will pop into their mind, because we know that 5 years ago, Optimus wasn't on their mind. So who knows, maybe by 2025, something new pops up on their radar. So as of right now, they have plans for all of their cash. So it doesn't sound like we're going to get like dividends or buybacks with any of that anytime soon. They're going to put that back into the company to continue growing it. So overall, I was very happy with this call. We got a lot of great information out of it. I actually thought Elon did a very good job on this call. Watching the stock movements throughout the call, wasn't like a, hey, Elon's talking and it's bombing type thing. At one point, I even noticed that Elon caught himself when he was starting to go onto a rant about politics and printing money and inflation, and just stopped and quickly changed directions. So, Elon's showing his maturity on these calls and I think it definitely showed. I think this is one of the best earnings calls that they have had in a very long time. Elon did a great job. So overall, awesome job to Tesla and the team. Congratulations to all of you as Tesla shareholders. This was amazing. Cannot wait to see what the stock price is going to be doing tomorrow. As of right now, we are back to basically where we started the day before we dipped 4%. So we're up about 4.5% to 5% after hours. So we'll see how this continues, and I will go deep dive into more of this information tomorrow morning. I'm not sure what I'm going to dive into the most, but there's a lot of different stuff that we can take away from this that I'll get into instead of this broad brush that I gave you guys tonight. So I hope this was a quick recap for you guys if you were not able to get on the call. If you were not, I will put the call down in the comments so that you can check them down there if you want to listen to the entire thing. I recommended it. Actually was a very good call, so definitely hop on there if you can. Otherwise, let me know your thoughts if you were on the call tonight and heard it. Let me know your thoughts about it. Otherwise, I will see you guys all later. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.